สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Before
Yep.
I'm sorry. Before we get started, I would like to inform you that please rename yourself with your institute abbreviation. For example, we are from Srinakarin University.
Yep.
Our abbreviation is SWU and dash, then followed by your names. Do not forget to please rename yourself so we would know where you're from, right?
Because nowadays or today we have a lot of guests,
Right,
And
right.
from many countries. For example, they come from Japan,
Japan, wow,
right?
right.
Konnichiwa again, right?
And Indonesia.
Yep.
And also Philippines, right?
Right.
Yeah, and definitely the host from Thailand.
Of course,
Okay.
right. And so,
Well, yeah, I forgot to introduce myself.
Right.
And good morning once again. My name is Thitraporn Kamsat, or you can call me Tara.
and I'm Ekelin Somrak. You can call me Ming.
All right.
Right.
We both are from Srinakarin University, Thailand. And today we will be your MC, of course. And before we get started, I would like to inform you briefly about our forum's procedures and schedule. All right. So at 9 o'clock,
Recording
what
in
happened
progress.
At 9 o'clock,
So
Kumail?
at 9 o'clock, we will be welcome remark of both President from Srinakarin Virod and Burapha University and the group photo.
Right. And well, after the group photo, we will present you the performance from our students. The show is called SDG, or Sustainable Development Growth. And
After the short video performance, will be sections of the keynote speaker from Professor Dr. Sukrit Limpichamnom, the President of the National Science and Technology Development Agency, or NSTDA.
wow.
And then
Yeah.
10:30, we will be allow you to join the certain sections of transformation education, post-COVID,
Yeah.
gender equality,
And-
affordable green society.
Right. Wow. These are very interesting, Kunmeng. And if you want to know who will be the speakers, we will show you the schedule with the preceding book. You can see the link here on my right hand, my left hand, left hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, and well, that is the end for the morning session. And in the afternoon, we will be back to the main room here again and meet with Assistant Professor Dr. Denchai Prapjandi from Faculty of Education, Burapha University, Thailand. And after the speech, there will be the wrap-up session. You guys will be here in this main room. You do not need to be separated. And well, it will be the wrap-up session with the KM, or knowledge management, by our moderators from the morning session. And well, that will be the end of the day, and will follow by the closing remarks, of course, and again with the group photo.
Yep.
Right. And well, while we're waiting to start at 9 o'clock, I would like to inform you again about renaming yourself with your institute abbreviation, dash, and followed by your names. And I have seen that few of you have done already. Thank you so much. Thank you. And there's one more thing, that please be on time for every session, because we will start right on time. Otherwise, we will be late for other sessions.
Yes, I've
Right.
got. And can you show me some example when you join on the Zoom link, and then how to change the name? Yeah.
All right. For example, I'm from Srinakarin University. My abbreviation is SWU dash my name. I will just mention my short name, like Tara, as I told you. So you guys would know that I'm from this university and my name. All right. And well, talking about renaming, there will be more that I need to inform you about the assessment. During the morning and afternoon session, I would like you guys to please help us to comment or give any suggestion as the assessment. The QR code for the assessment form will be available in the chat box for every session and on the main room screen as well. And the QR code will be available for the morning session at 11:30, and again for the afternoon part will be at 3 p.m.
Yep.
3 sharp.
Of course, right.
And Well, after you give us comments, after you complete the assessment form, the certificate will be available automatically for you.
All right. And one thing I want to remark you again, or if you have any questions, all right, you can type to the chat box, and
Right.
then we will have their staff to answer or these your questions.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. While waiting, you guys are welcome to use the restroom or get yourself ready. But those of you who just entered, please rename yourself with the institute abbreviation and followed by your name. And those of you who do not who do not belong to any institute, it's fine, just your name.
And I think it's around maybe 15 minutes.
Right.
We're gonna welcome,
start.
the forums again.
Right. While waiting, you are free to join, and you can actually download the proceeding book to see what we have for this forum today.
Yeah.
And because in the proceeding book there will be the schedule as well.
As well, right? And
Right.
the proceeding book, you're gonna see the professor or
Right.
speaker
Right,
on
right.
there, so
Yeah.
you can read that to try to focus with main or focus with group you
Right.
want to interact. Right.
Because some of you are here, some of you are here to cheer up your friends, your colleagues, so you can see the schedule, but which of your colleagues will be available on what time
Right.
in the session.
Yes.
All right. And while waiting, you may notice that this is the 10th International ESC Forum 2022
Yes.
under the topic of Multiverse in Education for Sustainable Development. And the forum is proceed today on
Yep.
Thursday, 24th of November, with the cooperation of the 6 universities. And definitely, I would like to mention about my friends first, the other partners.
Yeah.
The Shizuoka University from Japan.
Sinakarin Virod University, Thailand.
Yeah,
Right.
Burapha University, Thailand as well.
Yeah.
And Mariano Marcos State University from Philippines. And Universitas Pendidikan, Indonesia. And the
And?
last one is Universitas Gajah Mada, Indonesia.
Right.
All right. So I'm really honored to be
Yes.
here today.
Right. To be
Yeah.
your MC and to be your friends.
Yeah,
Right.
and to be part of this
Yes.
forum.
Yes, of course.
It's
right.
very honored. All right, so we shall start in about 10,
10
11,
minutes, yeah.
10 minutes?
Right.
Right.
And now we have maybe 200 participants around the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. That means, and this forum very, very impact for
Very.
other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would like to inform you again, for those of you who just entered, please rename yourself, like I said, with the your institute abbreviation, dash, and followed by your names. All right. Well, for those of you who are waiting, you guys are free to have breakfast,
Of
but
course.
don't forget to switch off your microphone and the camera.
Yes. Maybe if you open your microphone or maybe you open the video, maybe you make me mouth-watering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll get hungry.
Yeah.
Because we're really excited to be here.
Yes.
So we haven't had any breakfast.
Yes. Please, maybe you can send your breakfast to us.
Right.
Right.
Oh, hello, guys. I can see you all here.
Right. สวัสดีครับ Selamat datang and konnichiwa.
Wow, you speak
Alright.
multi languages. I only do 2
feel.
languages. Well, today the forum is online, right?
Yeah.
Normally, if it's on site, there will be the performance, like the live performance, right? But today we cut some of the performance that is linked with the sustainable development.
Yes.
Yeah, and this performance is the show was from the students from our students from
Yep.
Sinakarin Virod University, from Faculty of Fine Arts. Right, but it will be the short clip for you guys to just sit back and relax and see and enjoy our show
Yes.
before
and
starting. Yeah.
maybe you can have some popcorn or maybe chips, right? Between your enjoy our performance.
During the 15 minutes,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, of course. I always do that, right?
Right.
Okay. And this time it's online, as
Right.
you have mentioned, for the next year. Yeah.
Well, the next year, we are not sure it will be on site or online, but we know who will be the host. And if you guys invite me, I'm free.
Me too.
Well, but stay tuned that who will be the next host.
I'm so excited. Who will be the next host for the next forums?
I can't tell you now.
All
I'm
right.
sorry.
All
But
right.
the host know yourself, right?
All right.
That you need to be prepared for next year.
Maybe Indonesia, maybe Philippines, or maybe Japan.
Japan.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. We're gonna tell you later.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll tell you later.
Okay.
And okay, while waiting, I would like to remind you again about the assessment. The assessment, excuse me, the link for the assessment will be available in the chat box and on screen for every session, and definitely in the main room here. And I would like you guys to please give us comment and complete the assessment form. And after you complete the form, you will get the certificate automatically. And the certificate will be separated for both parts, for morning and
Yep.
afternoon.
Yep.
So please do not miss any part of us.
All right, and I would like to tell you again about the topics today. As you mentioned, this year we just focus on the 4 topics, right?
Right.
The first one is transformative education, because nowadays education is gonna change every
Right,
day,
right,
right? And very important to the teenagers,
Right.
And the second is post-COVID, right?
Yeah.
Because nowadays we on the COVID
facing-
pandemic, right?
Right.
Okay, and the third is gender equality, all
Right.
because teenagers, boy, girl, man or woman, they forget about the equalities,
Right.
and then they forget on the gender, right? So this day is very important, and that's why we forget and we talk about the gender equality.
Right.
And the last one, affordable and
Green
green
society.
society, right?
Yeah. These are very interesting topics.
Yes.
Do
Which
not
one do
miss
you
to
like?
join.
Or which one do you like to join?
Well,
Which part?
all of them.
Yeah.
Well, I would just switch, jumping from this room to another room.
Oh my gosh, that means you should make your schedule.
Because we have got so many speakers today, right?
Right.
For a certain session, we don't only have like one per session.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like 4 per session.
Oh my
4 or
God.
5.
Yes.
5 speakers per session.
That means you're gonna have 4 certificates for 4 sections.
Okay. All right. So before we started at 9 o'clock, we have the video presentation from our partners from Shizuoka University, Srinakhrin Virod University, Burapha University, Mariano Marcos, Universitas Gajah Mada, and Universitas of Pendidikan, Indonesia. Please enjoy.
Welcome to the Mariano Marcos State University, the leading institution of higher learning in Northern Philippines. A rising global institution with innovative actions in building a resilient and proactive smart university, MMSU has defined itself through quality and excellence and opens up to the world through expanding educational opportunities for students and all stakeholders. A QS Stars rated university, it is also recognized as Level 4 University in 5-level classification system of Philippine HEIs. MMSU offers a wide range of duly accredited programs in health sciences and medicine, industrial technology, engineering, business, trade and industry, humanities, social sciences, and liberal arts, and is recognized by the Philippine Commission on Higher Education as Center of Excellence in Teacher Education and Center of Development in Agriculture, Forestry, Information Technology, and Biology. It is also a national university for agriculture and fisheries. At MMSU, learning is enabled by quality curriculum content, competent faculty, and complemented by advanced technology to enable borderless learning in a vibrant environment conducive to learning and self-discovery. Our faculty and facilities are capable of delivering flexible learning, be it on campus or in cyberspace. We contribute to global knowledge exchange through faculty and student mobility programs, research, and academic collaborations, hosting international experts such as foreign faculty and DOST Balik scientists, while sending our own faculty as scholars, fellows, and lecturers in short and long-term international engagements. We have institutionalized credit transfer program that enables students to earn credit units at MMSU or our partner universities while also engaging in non-credit exchange programs. As we build our niche in bio and renewable energy, climate resilient agriculture and natural resources management, garlic and other value-added commodities, health and pharmaceutical research, we co-create knowledge through collaborative research and instruction activities with top universities and agencies in Southeast Asia, Japan, China, the United States, Canada, and United Kingdom. Through our strong partnerships and linkages, we continue to generate resources that enable us to engage in research to address emerging global needs. From these engagements, we transform the lives of our stakeholders by deploying adaptable and adoptable research-generated technologies to communities, equipping and empowering them to become valuable assets in their localities and eventually contributing to sustainable global development. Our community continues to expand as our alumni establish themselves in various parts of the world and as we grow partnerships with international agencies to build a diverse and multicultural environment at MMSU's campuses, physically or virtually. At the same time, we continuously develop our facilities to suit the needs of our growing and increasingly diverse population. Building on academic supremacy, growing with innovativeness, adaptiveness, and relevance, evolving into a borderless global university. This is Mariano Marcos State University, an emerging premier Philippine university where excellence is a way of life.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Sawadika.
สวัสดีครับ
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to the opening ceremony of the 10th International ESC Forum 2022 under the topic of Multiverse in Education for Sustainable Development on the Thursday, 24th November 2022. And I'm Titraphon Kamsat or Tara.
I'm Ekarin Somrak. You can call me Meng. We are from Srinakarin Virod University, Thailand. We both will be your MC today. This year forum was attributed by the corporations from 6 universities. Right, the first one Chizuoka University, Japan. The second Srinakarin Virod University, Thailand. The third Burapha University, Thailand.
And the fourth is the Mariano Marcos State University, Philippines. And followed by the Universitas Gajah Mada, Indonesia. And the last one is Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia from Indonesia.
Right.
At the beginning, there will be an opening remark from Associate Professor Dr. Somchai Santi Wattanakul, President of Srinakarin Virod University, from Thailand.
Yes, and
And-
followed by
yeah.
their Associate Professor Dr. Wacharin Gasalak, President of Burapha University, Thailand. After that, will be short video of an SDG Sustainable Development Growth performance by the students from Faculty of Fine Arts, Srinakarin Virod University.
And next program will lead you to meet the first keynote speaker on the topic of technology and future trends in education by Professor Dr. Sukit Limpi Jamnong, the President of the National Science and Technology Development Agency. And then you are welcomed to join the certain sessions during the begin at 10:30
Right, yeah.
until noon of the 4 sessions of
Yes.
transformative education.
Post-COVID, gender equality, affordable and green society.
Right.
And in the afternoon, we'll be back to meet the last keynote speaker of this year forum on the topic
Of multilingualism and linguistic racism in the classrooms, transforming teacher education agenda by Assistant Professor Dr. Denchai Prapchandi from Faculty of Education from Burapha University, Thailand.
And after the second speech, there will be a wrap-up sections and KM or knowledge management by our moderators from the sections and your host Joy in the morning. Then the group photo and followed by the closing ceremony.
And now I guess you guys are ready. Now I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Somchai Santi Wattanakul, the President of Srinakarin Virod University, to give you all an opening speech. Please welcome.
Good morning, Presidents of Shizuoka University, Mariano Marcos State University, Universitas Gajah Mada, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, and Burapha University. Honorary guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored to be a part of today's virtual event, the 10th International ESD Forum 2022, with the theme Multiverse in Education for Sustainable Development. Srinakarin Virod University has placed a strong emphasis on sustainable development and work with our academic partners to keep up with our commitment to encourage and support sustainable acts of initiatives. Since our university signed the Pledge of Agreement in December 2021, because of COVID-19, it has been increasingly clear to all of us that the educational landscape has changed. The higher education institutions need to transform its education, support and co-develop new approach to learning and teaching, and work with our local, national, and international networks to promote sustainable best practices. On behalf of Srinakarin Virod University, I'd like to wish the forum a great success. We look forward to expanding our scholarly cooperation and forging stranger relations between our institutions. Thank you very much.
Here, Dr. Somchai for your speech. And next will be an opening remark from other hosts by Associate Professor Dr. Wacharin Gasalak, the President of Burapha University, Thailand. Please welcome.
Associate Professor Dr. Somchai Santi Wattanakul, President of Srinakarin Virod University, Chairperson of the 10th ESD Forum, distinguished participants, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to welcome you to the 10th Education for Sustainable Development International Forum 2022. It is a privilege for Burapha University, particularly the Faculty of Education, to co-host this remarkable international conference. I can claim that the conference is timely for all of us to discuss sustainable development attentively. Indeed, education is the basic of everything. I'm optimistic that this consortium will be a platform for our partner to contribute their best practice, idea, innovation, and transformation education that expand our global perspective on teacher education. On behalf of Burapha University, I hope you enjoy the conference.
All right. And thank you, Dr. Vasharin, for your speech. And as mentioned earlier, that this forum was established by the cooperation of the 6 universities, as you have met the 2 hosts already, which is Sri Nakarin University and Burapha University. And let's get to know the others, the rest of the other universities. Now, if you would allow me to invite Dr. Shirley C. Acropis, President of Mariano Marcos State University from Philippines. Please welcome.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, I'm here.
Hi, Dr. Shirley.
Hey.
Hi, good morning. Thank you, because there are overlapping activities now, but thank you for waiting for me. Is this my time already to give my part? Am I going to give now my message? Am I
Yes.
coming to you loud and clear?
Yes, very clear. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, to our friends and partners in Education for Sustainable Development Consortium, Sri Nakarin University and Burapha University, this year's host of the 10th ESD Forum, faculty, staff, and students from different universities, friends, ladies and gentlemen, Arun Sawat, Selamat Pagi, Ohayo gozaimasu, Magandang umaga, good morning everyone. The theme of this year's forum is Multiverse in Education for Sustainable Development, which aims to discuss the impacts of COVID-19 on education for sustainable development and other related issues that arise from the pandemic. The start of the COVID-19 pandemic was truly a scary time for all of us. It crippled education system all over the world, but it also forced us to push our limits, unlearn traditional ways of teaching, innovative and improve our pedagogy to adapt to the changing times. And with this, I would like to congratulate all higher education institutions for surviving this crisis. I think it is safe to say that we all have becoming stronger and resilient because of the pandemic. Ironically, we engaged more international partners during the pandemic than before the pandemic. We have created partners from Thailand, from Indonesia, Japan, United States, United Kingdom, Canada, India, and many more, while we are at the comfort of our homes. We were able to teach English language to our Chinese and Japanese students, listen to experts in different subjects because we learned to maximize the virtual platforms. Here, in just another virtual platform, we will discuss all the learnings and experiences that we had during the pandemic and learn from each other on how to best move forward the post-pandemic to continually succeed and thrive in our common goal of giving quality and relevant education to our students. Congratulations to Sri Nakarin University and Burapha University for what I know is going to be a successful event. Again, together with the other members of the Education for Sustainable Development Consortium, welcome to the 10th International ESD Forum. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Krupit, from your greetings, right? And next, followed by the Dr. Nobuyoshi Shiojiri, Vice President for Educational Affairs, Affiliates, Schools from Shizuoka University, Japan. Welcome.
Good morning. Associate Professor Dr. Somchai Santiwatanaku, President of Srinacaran Wirot University, Associate Professor Dr. Wacharin Gazalak, President of Burapa University, distinguished guests, participating researchers and students, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Nobuyoshi Shiojiri, Trustee and Vice President for Educational Affairs and Affiliate Schools, Shizuoka University. Today, I'm extremely pleased that Shizuoka University participating in this 10th ESD Forum as one of member university of JPTI6 Sustainable Development Consortium. We witnessed the launch of this JPTI6 consortium in the 9th ESD Forum, so nicely organized by Mariano Marcos State University last December. Since then, Shizuoka University is promoting its activities of SDGs in relation with the policy of this consortium that I believe brings further development to this consortium. I wish all participants a fruitful conference and discussion today. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Shiojiri, of your greetings. The last representative of the Alliance is Dr. Aris Chito, Vice Rector for Student Affairs, Community Service, and Alumni from Universitas Gadjah Mada, Indonesia. Please welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you for the opportunity to be part of International SDM Forum 2022. I'm very pleased that Universitas Gadjah Mada can take part of this meaningful program. As a higher education institution, it has become one of university's role to strengthen education for sustainable development, since sustainability becomes the global agenda by 2030. UGM believes that ESD allows every human being to acquire knowledge, skill, attitude, and value necessary to shape a sustainable future. Thus, it is crucial to infuse keys of sustainable development issues into our education curricula. Up to this point, many UGM professors and students have included sustainability values in their learning, research, and community service activities to support sustainable development goals achievement. I am very grateful and sharing our gratitude to our speakers, presenters, and participants. I believe in this international ESD forum will provide valuable opportunity for economics, expertise, and decision makers to share experience and idea. I'm sure we will have a fruitful and rewarding exchange in this forum. I wish very success to this forum, and I look forward to learning about this outcome. Thank you, and I wish you have a productive and enjoyable forum.
Thank you, Dr. Suchito, for your greetings. And as mentioned, that there are 6 of us, but unfortunately, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia is unable to join us today. due to some technical problem, but he's also one of our team.
You're right. However, now I would like you to keep this ceremony by asking you to switch on your camera, and we will be doing a snapshot for the group photos. And don't forget to take off your masks as well.
Yeah, please remove your mask and smile to the cameras.
Right.
On the count of three, say, could I say cheese? Because I'm an old-fashioned.
Please, of course.
All right. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Put on your most beautiful smile, please.
Right.
And another shot, right?
Please.
1, 2, 3.
Cheese.
I guess we have all the photos, right? All right.
Thank you so much, everyone. Right. So as we mentioned, we would like you to show a video clip of an SDG Sustainable Development Growth performance by the students from Faculty of Fine Arts from Srinakarin Virod University. Please enjoy.
What do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? Better make up your mind, what do you mean? You're for protective when I'm leaving. Trying to compromise, but I can't win. You wanna make a point, but you keep preaching. You had me from the start, won't let this end. Cause you wanna go to the left, and you wanna turn right. Argue all day, make love all night. So up, day, down, in between. Oh, I really wanna know, what do you mean? Nod your head yes, but you want me to go. What do you mean? Straightforward. Oh, what do you mean? Since you're running out of time, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? Better make up your mind. What do you mean? I didn't ask for a free ride. I only asked you to show me a real good time. I never asked for the rainfall. At least I showed up. You showed me the thing. It's coming down on me. Water like misery. It's coming down on me. I'm ready, rain on me. Drop out, at least I'm alive. Rain on me, rain, rain, rain on me, rain, rain. Drop out, at least I'm alive. Rain on me, rain, rain, rain on me.
Hands up to the sky. I'll be your galaxy. I'm about to fly. Rain on me, tsunami. Hands up to the sky. I'll be your galaxy. I'm about to fly. Rain, rain, rain on me.
At least I'm alive. Rain on me, rain, rain, rain on me, rain, rain. Drop out, at least I'm alive. Rain on me, rain, rain,
Rain, rain on me.
coming down, won't you rain on me? Coming down, won't you rain on me?
All right, thank you so much for the video performance. I really enjoy it.
Right.
And I saw some person, they has a popcorn as well. So now we have a few minutes before start the next program for you to get yourselves some refreshment or use the restroom. And we're back to meet our first speaker at 9:30.
Right, 9:30 sharp. Please stay tuned.
Srinakarin Virod University, has been continuously evolving through development for 70 years. Pasan Mid Campus, the center of education at the heart of the city in a prime business area with over 40 acres of land with convenient, sufficient, and modern transportation. Onkarak Nakhon Nayok, a large area specifically for education, completely equipped with facility to support teaching and learning activities to ensure and fulfill holistic happiness. Sports centers, dormitories, a medical center, and students' activity centers with more than 400 acres of green areas and only 1 hour away from Bangkok. Sa Kaeo and Ta, full of learning resources blended with natural and cultural environments for community development concurrent with the goal of commitment to being an engagement university. 16 faculties, 5 colleges, 4 institutes, 7 centers, 5 demonstrate and strives for the movement of global society through education. With a strong commitment guided by the 70-year philosophy, education is growth, Srinakarin Wirod University is an engagement university.
Universitas Gadjah Mada or UGM is a public university renowned as the People's University which strives for and puts forward the interests of the citizens and nation of Indonesia. As a higher education institution that has long been recognized by the society, we are proud of our timeless and tireless dedication to the nation. By cultivating, implementing, and leveraging education, research, and community services, which constitute the salient objectives of Indonesian higher education, or Tridharma, we remain committed to incessantly promoting the values of Pancasila. We exert the utmost effort to protect Indonesia's sovereignty in accordance with Pancasila ideology and the 1945 Constitution. As a world-class university, UGM is devoted to the interests of the nation and humanity. We conduct research, provide education, and deliver community services by enhancing knowledge that benefits the community, the nation, and the world. We have been learning from one another and get stronger together since we believe that knowledge is not useful unless it is shared with others. The learning process will never cease developing. At UGM, we learn by continuously exploring sciences, learning from history, observing the present, and researching for the future. We always work hard and never give up. The learning and research processes at UGM continue to run together and explore state-of-the-art innovations. To create a convenient, environmentally friendly, and pollution-free green campus, UGM has built a wisdom park that substantiates the teaching and learning process. The park per se is open to the public. UGM has also developed drinking water facilities throughout the campus, provided by Drinking Water Supporting Unit. This system is harnessed by the entire academic community of UGM. As the manifestation of its teaching endeavor, UGM operates various field laboratories for educational and research purposes. Furthermore, UGM has established and run a science technopark as an embodiment of its capability of inventing and commercializing a myriad of innovative health products, ranging from medical devices, herbal medicines, and healthy food.
There are now more than 118,000 cases in 114 countries and 4,291 people have lost their lives.
2020 has been a tough year for anyone, and it is no exception for UGM. Campus activities are abruptly halted, student activities on campus are annulled, and everyone is forced to work, worship, and study from home. Lecturers have no choice but to learn how to teach effectively using the information and communication technology or ICT. Learning and research on technology are strongly supported at UGM, and in fact, we have conducted various cutting-edge technological research. Community Service or KKN is one of the most important courses to complete the study program, which will be undergone by University of Gadjah Mada or UGM in 2020 while adopting online courses system. Supported by the Ministry of Education, UGM will continue its service within the society across Indonesia during the pandemic issue. Lecturers and researchers at UGM continue carrying out basic and applied research in many realms. For instance, studies in the health sector to cope with COVID-19 are being encouraged and accelerated as a form of UGM's commitment to mitigating disaster using scientific methods. One of the most innovative inventions regarding to mitigating the COVID-19 is GENOS, a screening tool or early detector of patients exposed to COVID-19, which is able to identify the symptom through exhale within 80 seconds. GENOS is highly reliable. It has a number of advantages as a COVID-19 fast detection tool. Its sensor is able to detect more than thousands of patients in the long term, while providing relatively fast results, non-invasive and affordable. In addition, its usage also applies non-rebreathing mask and disposable HEPA filter. Those challenges somehow direct or even force us to innovate and modify approaches. Success is a journey which necessitates smart work through learning, studying, and sacrificing. Despite all that, most of all, we love what we do.
All right, welcome back. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet our first keynote speaker at 9:30. And I would like to welcome Associate Professor Dr. Sukrit Limpit Jamnong. He's now the current president of the National Science and Technology Development Agency, who will give you a speech of technology and future trend in education. Please welcome.
Good morning, everyone. And I really honored to have opportunity to present our idea, and hopefully it will benefit all of you who attend this session today. Thank you, the organizer, for giving me the opportunity to and honor me as a keynote speaker, the first keynote speaker to present today. I think most of my talk today will relate to my late background on as the president of IPST, the Education Institute. I now move to NASDA, which is more research oriented. So the talk today will be on the technology and future trends in education. The thing that we encounter during the past few years have really changed the topology of the world. So let's move to next slide, please. All of you probably heard of the word VUCA. VUCA came from 4 words. The first letters of each word: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. We are right now live in the VUCA world. The volatility, all of you probably understand this word from the stock market. When the stock is volatile, it means it's moving very rapidly. and with the uncertainty, so you don't really know that the way it's moving is up or down. And what if it is not just about the stock, about single company, but it is the entire world. So everything really interconnected, and it is really complex. So the complexity means everything, almost everything in the world is connected to the other things. So the change in one product really affect the other product. The change in one product really can affect the other company. The change in one side of the world really affect the other sides. And when its complexity is come with ambiguity, which is unclear, which direction is going. So the solution that we need to have, and all of our students need to have under the VUCA world is they have to have ability to adapt themselves. So for the adaptation, I give you example on the right photo, that right picture that I showed here on the slide is Choluteca Beach in Honduras. It went viral a few years ago that somebody crazy enough to create a bridge that not in the right place. It does not go above the river. But actually, this bridge is a very good bridge. It in the past was the state of the art that at the time is really strong and it withstand any hurricane. And the changing is that big hurricanes comes and the storm comes, and over time the river change directions. So the bridge the bridge become useless because it's not at the right place. So somehow education is similar. If we attach too much to the way that we are teaching, if we attach too much to the content that we are delivering, and we copy what we have done in the past few years and keep doing the same thing, we can be this bridge, which leading to nowhere. The education with might not help students to survive in the new world, especially in the VUCA world. So we need, if we compare to the bridge, we need the bridge that is adaptable and can move and can change to the outside environment. Next slide, please. The thing really speed up because of the technology of freedom. We know that things change very quickly, and those of you who are in both education and research would know and would feel the effect of the interconnected world, especially the way we are doing research. The way we do research, it used to be so difficult to contact your research team on the other side of the world. You might have to send the manuscript over by mail in the past, become email in the past few years. And right now you can edit manuscript, you can teleconference with your friend. So it's really speed up the research process. It's really speed up the way we gain the new knowledge. It's really changed the way we move the frontier research and learning new things, because we interconnected and we learn everything together as a team more freely, more easily. So because of this technology, the things going speed up very quickly. And when things speed up very quickly, it can lead to something very bad, or it can lead to something very good if we utilize it correctly. Next slide, please. And why the world is moving forward with technology, we all experienced the global pandemics during the past 2 years. And we know that all of us changed the way of life because the constriction of the pandemics, we have to do things far apart. We cannot have a physical meeting. We cannot have physical contact. So the way of our life changed. We used to go shopping. We used to go to see movie. We used to travel a lot. We used to fly over the air with the airplane. We used to travel by bus. We used to travel by rail. Instead, we have to do shopping online. We have to, instead of going to movie theater, we watch Netflix. And at some point, you probably heard the news that the Netflix really overwhelmed the network. And at some point, they really have to restructure the way they broadcast, reduce the streaming so that everyone can watch. And the new business that really come into play is the video conference and the way that we are meeting right now. The forum carry out in the virtual world without big barrier like in the past. In the past, we have lots of difficulty. People don't know how to use this kind of apps. Right now, we all adapted and adopted the technology to our way of life. The other thing that I'm not sure about our neighbor countries, but in Thailand, especially in Bangkok, Grab food delivery and Line Man really come into play. So you can order food because during the COVID pandemic, it's difficult to go outside, let alone sitting in the restaurant along with other people because you're afraid to catch COVID. So food delivery become big business in Thailand. And these things comes and will stay because when you get the feel of more comfortable life, get a feel of the new way of doing business or the new way of living. On some good days, you may feel like you're going to do your daily life, your business as usual. But in some days, you may feel, hey, this is alternative way that we can do the same business. So all these new technology that came into play during the COVID-19 pandemic will stay. Same for education. For education, during the COVID pandemic in Thailand, we shut down school. So teachers have to find a way of teaching. Resource to Zoom, resource to Microsoft Teams, resource to Google Meet, or even live call and doing group live call to teach students. Teacher learn to do the exam, learn to do a quiz by depositing the exam online. Students learn to cheat online along the way, how to get in the classroom, get behind on the other device or on the same device to discuss the problem with their group of friends. So the way of utilizing internet for learning, for teaching become new norm during the past 2 years. During the same time, when I was the director at IPST, we also feel the pressure that we really need to transform the books that students use into clip video so that they can study, they can learn by themselves during the COVID pandemic, especially for those small schools that the teacher might not have resource to do a full teleconference or may not have resource to do high quality video clip for students to learn their science and their experiment. So at IPST, we developed the clips for all 12 grades of students and with complete one-on-one with each chapter of the books that we produce. So and open those scripts for public. So we use the power of YouTube and Facebook so that we don't have the bandwidth problem. I think those depository still use even after the COVID-19 pandemic has more or less resolved. We open the country now, but as I mentioned, the way of life is changed. People still feel that this is the alternative, useful way that can learn and can be used for studying. Next, please. So for global crisis, not only COVID-19 that we experience, we also have a finance problem. We also have business problem, economy problem, the gap between the rich people and poor people, the environment problem, COP27 that we mentioned, for APEC that Thailand hosts, the government really stayed on BCG economy model, which we hope that it can be the way of making the country develop by careful to treat the environment and not make the world suffer, which is aligned with SDG goals. And we also care more about natural resource. As you probably know, BCG model that Thailand propose is based on bioeconomy, circular economy, and green economy. For the circular economy is concerning the natural resource. We will try to use material more carefully and more responsibility. The food insecurity is the one issue that the whole world is suffering. We have lots of food in some place. We lack a lot of food in certain place. We have climate change, which is what to blame for is greenhouse effect caused by carbon dioxide release that we are really release too much during the past decades. And war, of course, war is classic problem for global crisis from past until today. Next, please. If I would like to say one good thing about COVID-19 is the technology adoption. It is at the unprecedented level that people accept technology so quickly and so gracefully to use it because of the situation. And the good things about this is most of them going to stay because it's like you learn how to ride a bicycle. Once you know how to ride, you're not gonna forget. Similarly, people who used to refuse to use their smartphone, used to refuse to download certain apps for their daily life, it become norm during the COVID-19 pandemic. And once they touch and get a feel of how useful they are, they're going to stay and use it. So this one show by Forbes, they study and found that the gain of the adoption of technology in all details, if you see the number is roughly about 50% increase in technology adoption during the COVID-19 for accelerate for the 5G adoption, accelerate adoption of cloud computing and machine learning, AI and machine learning really speed up during the past 2 years. And if you look on the right hand, you see the alarming number is 40x faster. And if you look at the text, what is 40x faster than compared to the speed if we allow it to go without COVID-19 pandemics? Is the way that how much more quickly a company shift to work from home, work remotely. So all of you probably have those policy in your institute that you can work remotely, especially during the shutdown of COVID-19. And this thing, if you look back before COVID-19 pandemics, you would not imagine that your institute or your company would allow you to work from home at this level. And until today, in Thailand, many companies still allow, even my institute, I also still allow researchers to work remotely unless absolutely necessary that they have to come and perform their routine work in their own lab. So once the country is open, we allow that. And also, most of the meetings become online. I'm not talking about the conference meeting alone, but the actual meeting that have to do decision making still after COVID-19 pandemics, online is still optional. And people who have difficulty of traveling and have to come from outside the city may choose to adopt the option of online, which is very beneficial because you save times of travel, you make your time in the day more efficiently, and you have better way of life. Also, if you look around yourself, the bottom right hand bottom graph here show how things become digitalized or become IoT or connected to internet. Not so long ago, in 2017, only about 20% of the products surrounding you have either digitalized somehow, have digitalized panel, or some become IoT, Internet of Things, mean connecting to the internet. But even at the year 2020, about 2 years ago, already 60% of the product become digital in some way or even connect to the internet. So really technology, digital technology and internet become your norm of life. Next slide, please. OECD has the proposed that the need for new solution in rapid changing world. OECD said that we need a peaceful world, and the goal of education is we should teach our new generation so that the world can live peacefully. So the three challenges of the society that we may not live peacefully, the thing that can be problems, they divide into 3 bullets here. So I recommend you to load this paper to read. It's not long. If I remember correctly, about 6 pages in total only. But the thing that they highlight is very interesting because we focus a lot on the environment. We think that we are in a deep crisis of environment, but actually equally we are in deep crisis of 3 things, not just environment, but also economic and social. And the last 2 might take into effect or might cause the world problem even more rapidly than the environment that we concern. So environment, I don't need to emphasize about it. The greenhouse effects, that cause the climate change, the pollution to the natural resource, the way that we use technology more and more is really have the vast damage to both environment and vast utilization of material and natural resource. And we going to deplete the first sector of material very soon, that is the energy resource. And while we draining the energy resource, which are oil, petrochemical, from the ground. We also create pollution to the world in form of carbon dioxide, and that cause the greenhouse effect. Those parts we know very well, and you can read a lot of concern people, responsible people who try to raise the issue and try to pressure the people in charge to do something about it. The second part is the economic. We all know that the gap between rich and poor become more and more. And one tool that can really help to remedy the situation is the education. It's not just that people who are working hard will be success anymore, but people have to understand the how the economy work. Uh, People have to understand the financial, the way of the change in the society, the way of people willing to pay, the way that people willing to buy, the appreciation of things that people like, and people have to understand the way of living responsibly in accord to what they make, and understand more about the normal day-to-day financial in order to make them be sufficient. So sufficient is one keyword for them to live peacefully in the new world. The last but not least is the social, the growth of global population, the technology that connect the world. In the past, we can have the different thought, we can have different idea, we can have different belief, but because of physically divide, oftenly we see two countries that have different belief and different way of thinking and become fighting. So it's become the war between two countries. But now the world is interconnected, and the way that we receive information, which I will talk a bit in the last part of my talk. The way that we receive information, we can have different sets of information. So we that live next to each other may have different way of thinking, and that can create polarization in the way of life and can really cause a social problem. And actually it start to take into effect, and we can start to see a social problem that caused by the internet, caused by the way that we receive different set of information. So these are the three challenges of the society that OECD suggests that we as the educator should somehow try to solve them and make the world, people live in the world in peace. Next, please. For the United Nations, proposed 17 SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. You probably know about this campaign of SDG goals. And United Nations believes that these are the pathway toward the well-being. So the world can live together, more peaceful and more sustainable if all the countries in the world set these goals as the priority in their plan for action, in their plan for development. For Thailand, we propose to do BCGs, Biocircular Green Economy, which are suitable for Thailand because we rich in bioresource. And if we enhance our circular and green path, we can meet at least 11 of the 17 goals directly. And there are some other indirect relate relation between the BCG and this SDG. So that's why Thai government during the APEC proposed that BCG is the way that Thailand is using to reach the SDG goals and to reach the sustainable development, and propose that other nations try to come up with their own agenda to reach these goals. Also, many countries would love to adopt what we have, SDG goals. Sorry, BCG economy models. Next, please. So the world is developing and education is changing. Next slide, please. We heard a lot about the word competency, which is the holistic concept that includes knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values. In the past, if I say, we focus our education on knowledge. People come to school, people go to their teacher in the past, even before school. It's because they were hungry for knowledge. Because people in the past have lots of time. They have lots of time to do skill. They have lots of time to learn to live in the society, to gain the attitude and value. And they know that their value would be more to the society if they have more knowledge. So that's why the education in the past setting to transfer knowledge from the teacher to student. And knowledge during the many decades almost become the fixed thing that is the certain thing that only educated people would know this kind of knowledge. And the process of teaching is transfer this knowledge to newer selected generation. Become those who choose to go to school, those who choose to acquire knowledge would really fulfill and gain opportunity to do more for the society, because the skills and attitude and value are the things that were not lacking in the past. So if we look at this diagram that OECD made, the competency is the intercalate of the three things: knowledge, skill, and attitude and value. In the old day, people have lots of skill and attitude and value because they have lots of time. Students have lots of time to play with their friends. Students have lots of time to stay with their parents. And in their lots of time, they also have skill of life. But what they were lacking is the knowledge. So they can fulfill that, they can gain that from academia people who are teachers, and transfer the knowledge to them. And they become whole. They have stronger competency that lead them to be the high quality people in the society. Now the world is changing. So let's go back a little bit. This day, we focus a lot on knowledge, and we measure students a lot based on what they know. So knowledge become only the key parameter to measure. And we care less and less about skill and attitude and value. So we start to have imbalance between the three. And parents also expect that they send their kids to school would learn all three from schools. We as academia, we say that those skills and those attitude and value should somehow learn from home. The family should teach them the manner, should teach them the attitude and value. But new generation parents have less and less time. But the whole thing is the student should have all three. Either who going to fill them. We have to measure the success of education, not just measure the knowledge alone. We have to measure how the student after they go through their young lifetime, would they really become citizens that have high quality, have high competency, can do things, can creating new value, can leave responsibility in the society, and can adapt themselves to the changing in the world, so that the whole world can be well-being 2030 as OECD proposed. So if we look at this, you hear a lot about the word competencies, because the word competency is the measure of the whole things that the student experience, not just how well they do in books, how well they answer the questions, but how well they act and what they use those knowledge to combine with their skill and their attitude and value in order to reflect in the actual action that they become themselves. Next, please. So new experience become new normal. Because during the COVID-19 pandemics, we have learned that the student can learn by themselves also. The parents can be big part of the education. The teacher themselves have to change the way of their teaching. They have to be more resourceful. So for the parents, we know that parents learning to facilitate their kids, because their kids have to stay at home. Sometimes they spend more time with their kids than even before the COVID-19 pandemics, because mom and dad has to work from home too. The kids have to study from home. So that may be another good thing, that the parents and the kids spend more time together, and that can fill the gap of the attitude and value part. And somehow the parents also teach skill to the kids like the old days. And parents also force sometimes by the kids to learn beginner in digital learning, and also expose to learning resources. For the teacher, internet become norm. Teacher have to learn how to use internet, not just how to use web browser like in the past, but they have to master in controlling the Zoom, controlling the meeting room, use them more fluently to respond to the students' needs. They have to blend the learning, synchronous and asynchronous teaching. Mean they have to master both actual live meeting with the student, and also deposit the content, so the student can learn by themselves at their own convenience time, and the student deposit back what they respond, and the teacher can get those information and facilitate the learning of the student in the asynchronous way. And blended learning, quality of the contents, the student can gain not just the information from their own teacher. Once they go to the internet, it's the wide open world, especially those students who are in international school, who are more fluent in English. They can gather information for the same place from around the world. And for the student as a learner, they can know they know their ability to learn from anywhere. They see that, hey, I don't really need to go to my teacher to know this and that. I can learn from internet. And they have to become more responsible as the exam will come, and they have to make their own schedule and try to fulfill all the subjects that the school assigned to them. And as I mentioned earlier, smart students start to have back channel. Even when they study or get quiz from the teacher, they have collaboration behind the scene. And those kind of things also become norm in these days. Next, please. So during the COVID-19 pandemics, OECD think about 4 possible scenarios that can be after the COVID-19 pandemic is over. They call resilience. The first model that many countries are likely to utilize is the schooling extended. After the COVID-19 pandemic, students go back to school like usual. But because of the speed up in technology, school cannot be the same anymore. School has to arm with all new technology and all the convenience that new technology provide so that the learn in school can be more effectively. The second scenario that possible is education is outsourced. That means the traditional schooling breaks down because during the COVID-19 pandemics, the society become part of the student learning, and parents become involved of the student learning more, and so the learning can be taken part by many parties, society, parents, and digital technology will be used more and more for the student to use. So school may not be useful in the second scenario. The third scenario is the school is transforming to be the hub, similar to somehow like the public library, but equipped with all the learning equipment. So people can visit and utilize the school for teaching and become more customized for the needs of each student. The community can be part in coming to the school, and many schools already did that even before COVID-19. Many professions coming to students and explain their professionals, and in the third scenario, it will become more like that the school become the learning hub for the student. The blended learning become more norm, less on the curriculum based design, and the student have to go class by class to study as the fixed set of subject that the student need to study. It will become less. The fourth scenario is no school at all, and education become part of the grow up life. So you learn as you go. You learn from internet. You learn anywhere, anytime. You learn from your parents. You learn from the community, and you don't need to go to school anymore because all the information that you can acquire from school, the information that you study from your teacher, you can gain those from clips, video. You can gain those from other means. Next, please. Anyway, we all know that the heart of any school is the teacher. So the teacher have to have knowledge, skill, competency, and understand to measure knowledge, skill, and competency that each student have, and see how these three bridge it and becomes at the end the student reflecting in their ability to do things. So we have to change the way, not just try to make all the students the same. We have to change the way that we measure students based on knowledge alone. Have to change the way that we have set of subjects and we measure students based on a single number, that they are good in average GPACs, so they are good students. Because some students are very good in certain things and might not do so good in some things, but that doesn't mean that in their life they're not going to be success. Some students need to we need to add a certain skill, not just all the skill. Some students we need to add, encourage them to be brave. Some students we need to encourage them. They might be brave already. They might become too aggressive. We have to educate them to live with the other more peacefully and understand the other more. So those kind of things is we have to change the way that the teacher probe the student and try to fulfill the student what each single student needs. Next, please. So 6 educational technologies that identify as the key tools for education in 2020. Animation, virtual reality and augmented reality, blockchain technology, big data and cloud computing, and AI. I will go roughly one by one. For the animation, we all know the power of it, that instead of let the student read only text to explain things, animation can catch their attention, and it's good storytelling, and advance in animation technology makes things more clear, easier to understand, and average learner who lost attention really quickly can have more focus and have the education more fun. Next, please. Virtual reality, you probably have a chance one way or another to wear the VR glass, so you can really live in the virtual world of the actual situation, and it would make the learning more efficiently and reduce the list of mistake oversight, because it provides real world training without the real world suffering. So it's more like if you do the real world situation and you done something wrong, oh, you cannot go back and fix it. But this thing in the VR world, you can try and fail and go back and do it and try to do it right. And when you face the actual situation, it's really the same, because the experience that you gain from your eyes is almost everything that we experience and we use as the main sense that we deal and connect with the world. Next, please. Blockchain technology, you heard a lot, and somebody even attached blockchain technology to Bitcoins. So Bitcoins riding on blockchain technology, but blockchain technology itself is wider than Bitcoin. It allows anyone to make a digital transaction, use blockchain to make incentive points valuable in the real world for digital transaction. And the key things about blockchain technology is that the data cannot modify unknowingly. And after the distribute, the blockchain really locked. You cannot go back and modify the previous transaction in the chain without knowing in any part of the chain. So in education now, we start to utilize blockchain to track student learning qualification and certification. And the application of this can be more, not just to track the transcript, to verify the transcript, which I think in the near future, educators will use blockchain more for locking up the learning record of the student in more details. Next, please. We heard a lot about big data. Big data, to qualify for big data, it has to have vast amount of data that can be used for analyzing and use the data to improve the process of learning. So discover insight from learning behavior on the platform. For example, we still believe that all teachers are good because of their experience. They know that for this kind of student, how to fix them. And when the student behave like this, what that actually means. But how would you imagine that 100,000, 10,000 of these teachers share their experience? That is the big data. And once you have digital teacher, the digital teacher around the world can feed in all this data of experience that facing different students, and they can use this as the data to learn how to cope with the next student more effectively. So how wonderful would that be to have the teacher that's so experienced based on big data? So it can improve learning productivity and efficiency. It identifies trend and pattern that indicate the most beneficial component of learning. And it can customize the program to fit the need of each individual student. Next, please. And if we want to use big data, the need is the cloud computing. So if big data is the concept, is how to store them, how to utilize them, how to analyze them, how to come up with the AI to be the teacher. It's sitting on the cloud computing. So cloud-based learning management systems are widely used due to their convenience, including learning environment, efficiency, and ongoing feedback for professional developments, among others. We can observe all digital behavior of learners using the cloud computing. Next, please. And we heard a lot of AI, artificial intelligence, in many sectors. So AI can gain better knowledge based on big data of the way that we should deal with each individual learner, and it enhances the learning efficiency because AI can replicate the collaboration between a seasoned practitioner and a novice, and evaluating the success of the training, because AI is really like a teacher, but with lots of experience. Next, please. So AI has played more impactful roles and makes our life more efficient every day. And in other sectors, you probably have heard a lot of AI. Next, please. This thing is a part that I promised to talk about a little bit. If you did not watch The Social Dilemma in Netflix, I recommend you watch it. The Social Dilemma talking about about the situation in the world that we are facing now, because we having the social world, and we are fed with a different set of information. You and your friend who sitting next to each other think that you're going to Facebook, the same Facebook. You think that you are going to YouTube, the same YouTube. But actually the content inside your Facebook, your YouTube is customized to fit your needs, to fit what you like. So it brought out lots of contents that good content that you don't like to watch. It pre-selected for you to watch what they think, what the AI think that you may like. So this one really create a polarization. Like in US, we all know that Democrat and Republican gaining about 50% of population from the past until today. But never in the history that Democrat hate Republican people this much. The same apply. Never in the past that Republican hate Democrat this much, because of the social, because Democrat people choose to watch a video and the AI behind YouTube, behind Facebook, behind Instagram, learn that the behavior of Democrat like to watch this kind of video. So they keep feeding the good video about Democrat, and the clip video which might be real, might be fake, on the how Republican is so devil. The same also apply on the other side. So once you keep feeding with those information, you keep learning that the other side is really bad. In the old days, this was not happen because you watch the same TV channel, you watch the same newspaper. So you see both good side on Democrat, bad side on Democrat also, good side on Republican and bad side on Republican, and everyone fed the same set of information. But once AI control each individual social network, you start to get distorted, and day by day by day, you change your thinking and you become like your group more and hate the other side more and more. That's really create a social problem, the third bullet that I talk about. So I really recommend you to watch the social dilemma on Netflix, and it's explain this in more detail than what I can provide you in this short talk. Next, please. I think right now the global citizenship is the key to protecting our world for future generation. And what is global citizenship? Next, please. A global citizen is someone who is aware of and understand the wider world and their place in it. So they can take an active role in their community and work with others to make our planet more peaceful, sustainable, and fairer. So we should all try to set our focus on teaching our students to be a good citizen, good global citizen. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Chukit, for sharing your time and knowledge to us. ขอบพระคุณครับอาจารย์ครับ I think your presentation is very useful and very important for us and for this forum as well. Before get the separate, I would like to remind you that the QR code of the assessment form will appear on screen in this main room at 11:30 against 11:30, right? For the morning part, once you complete the form, the certificate will be appropriately provided. Please get yourself ready to click to join each certain room due to your interest at 10:30. And we will see you again in the afternoon.
All right, thank you. And to remind you once again about the assessment, about the giving us suggestion during the survey, it will be available in the chat box of each section, and will be available again here in this main room at 11:30 only, starting from 11:30. That is for the morning part.
Right.
And after you complete the form, you will automatically get the certificate for the morning part.
Right.
All right. And now it's the sessions for each rooms will be available at 10:30 sharp. Now we have some few minutes to get relaxed and come back at 10:30 for each room that you would like to join. We'll see you in the afternoon.
Right.
Right, excuse me. As I mentioned earlier, there will be a change a little bit. For each session, the rooms is available now, so you are welcome to join as you wish.
All right, for the first section is transformative education, right? The second room is post-COVID, and the third room is gender equality, and the last section is affordable
and or green society. And please go to the room that you are interested in. I'll see you once again in the afternoon.
Right.
All right. Please enjoy. here we are again. As we said that we'll see you in the afternoon, but I noticed that there are some of you who are still in the main room.
Right.
So I would like to know if you guys have any obstacle in entering any room. If you have any question or any problem, please let us know. You can type in the chat box. We'll
Right.
have our
Staff?
Right, to help you.
Right.
Or maybe some of you just accidentally left the laptop, but that's okay. However, I just noticed that, I mean, if you have any problem getting into each certain rooms, please let us know. We'll help you to get to the rooms. All right. So while waiting, there are 4 rooms as we mentioned earlier of the transformative education, post-COVID, gender equality, and the last one is the affordable or green society. If you are interested in any of them, please let us know and we'll give you instruction to go to the rooms.
Yeah.
All right.
Or if you have any questions about the forum or about the detail or something about the forums, you can ask we as well by the message.
Okay. So please feel free to let us know in the chat box if you have problems to get to the rooms.
Yeah. We're willing to help you.
Right.
Right.
To go to the certain rooms and cannot enter, please let us know again. So we would help you to transfer you to the room that you're interested in. All right.
Or if you need to know more about the detail of each section, you can scan, and then the proceeding book will show you about the detail for the section and for the moderators as well.
Right. The proceeding book here on my hand, you are able to scan and read the details there.
Right.
All right.
You can feel free to let me know by the message. Right. Okay, see you soon.
See you. Like I said, that we have 2 parts. Will be separated to 2 certificates.
Yeah.
Right.
In the morning part and in the afternoon part. Right.
Yeah.
If you're still with me, start from morning until the afternoon. You're gonna have 2 certificates.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
2 of them. And okay. So yeah, while you're waiting, you're free to get yourself ready, free to get some drinks or use the restroom, and we'll come back at 1 p.m. sharp. Swadee ka. Welcome back to the afternoon part. Now it's 1 p.m. and I think it's time to start, right? Welcome back, you guys, for the afternoon session of the 10th International ESD Forum 2022 on the Multiverse in Education for Sustainable Development on Thursday, 24th of November.
Right, as we mentioned in the morning and just 5 minutes ago, that the afternoon part will be scheduled of the last keynote speaker from Burapha University, Thailand, wrapping up sections and their closing remark.
All right. Now I believe that we are ready, and let me invite Assistant Professor Dr. Denchai Prapchandi. He's currently lecturing at the Faculty of Education, Burapha University, Thailand, to provide us information on the topic of multilingualism and linguistic racism in the classrooms, transforming teacher education agenda. Please welcome.
All right, thank you very much. The moderators, can you hear me well?
ได้ยินครับอาจารย์
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. So let me share the PowerPoint. Okay, can you hear me well?
ได้ยินครับอาจารย์
Okay, so thank you for introducing me. As you know, my name is Denchai Prapchandi, and I'm a teacher educator at Faculty of Education at Burapha University, Thailand. Now, today, this afternoon session, I'm going to share with you topic that I'm passionate about, which is multilingualism and linguistic racism in the classroom, transforming teacher education agenda. For this talk, I will cover three main parts. The first part is I'm going to talk a little bit about multilingualism and why is it important and why we need to care about multilingualism. Is it only about English teacher, or is it only about language teacher that should care, or is it should be an agenda for all? After that, I'm going to discuss issues arising as the result of multilingualism, which is linguistic racism. And the last part will be, I'm going to invite you all to join for a proposal for change, which is transforming teacher education agenda. Okay. I will have some times for question and answer. If you have questions or comments during my talk, please feel free to drop the comments in the chat box. So how did it all start? Why do I care about multilingualism? How did I enter the field of linguistic racism? And also why teacher education in particular that need to address multilingualism or linguistic racism? So it starts with both my personal journey and also my professional journey as well. So for my personal journey, if you run me into on the street, right? You wouldn't be able to know that I am a bilingual or I am a multilingual unless unless I tell you that I can use more than one languages, in my daily life. Or if someone introduced me like, oh, this is Dan Chai and he can use more than one languages, or my friends, talk about me and so on. So I am a multilingual myself. My first language is Isan, which is a dialect in the northeastern part of Thailand. Now, Isan is very close to Laotian language. It's highly influenced by that. Now, if Isan people talk to Laos people, then the language is, intelligible. Now, growing up in my family, I use Isan, until the age of 4 years old. Now, I enter a school in my local area. At the school, I was not allowed to use Isan in the classrooms. So Isan, it actually was prohibited to use as a language for communication in the classroom. If I use it, I was punished, okay? Either by spank heavily or, scold loudly to the entire class. And my language was perceived as inferior than the Thai standard. Now, Thai standard Thai is the language that was used in the classrooms. And at that time, I didn't know the differences between, multilingualism or bilingualism, but I just followed the rules. But growing up, I can see that, by not allowing me to use the language that I'm comfortable with, it actually affects me a lot in terms of cognitive and also psychological and also affective domains as well. That is my personal journey of that. Okay, by telling you this, I'm not telling that the school was bad or anything like that, but it was the experience that I grew up with that drive me into researching multilingualism or linguistic racism. Now, my professional journey then, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't know about I didn't know about the language diversities until I went to study my master degree. But it was not about linguistic diversity in general, but it's about English, because my major was English at that time. So I was first exposed to the concepts of world Englishes in the Master of Education program in TEFL at Chulalongkorn University. So at that time, I know that, English varieties exist. And I was very fascinated about the concepts. There are English varieties around the world. There are Singaporean English, there are Indian English, there are Filipino English, and even South African English. So I was very excited to learn that, okay, there are diversity of linguistics around the world. After that, I went to the United States to be trained as a teacher educator in bilingual, multicultural, and ESL education. Over there in the United States, I actually witnessed the concepts of multilingualism myself. So now I started to picture and piece this all together, the information, the experience that I grew up with, and also the concepts of world Englishes that I learned. Now I started to see the growing landscape of multilingualism around the world. And after that, after graduating, I came back to Burapha University and I was appointed to teach the MEd program in teaching English as a global language at Faculty of Education at Burapha University. So at that time, the concept of global Englishes or global English language teaching emerged as a distinctive field of study of research. This is the first time that actually ignite my passion, that I can incorporate my personal experience and also my professional experience into something that I love, into something that I really like. Since then, I have worked with in-service English teachers and started to disseminate the concept and the ideas of global Englishes. And it's my great honor to share with you all what I do and explain to you a little bit, why is it important to start to know about this concept. So since then, as you can see, I have disseminated, professional development to teachers, and I receive a lot of positive feedback and also resistance as well that make me learn how to adapt, how to help teachers understand the concept of multilingualism and so on. So let me start with multilingualism. This is the key takeaway that drive my interest. So for me, multilingualism is a linguistic, social, and a global phenomenon. It is not new that the world is becoming, linguistically and socially multilingual. Okay. So if we look at into the website, Ethnologue, you can see that these are top 10 countries with the most languages. Now you can debate the concepts of dialects versus languages, but I'm not going into details on that. But this is the statistics, from this website, Ethnologue. You can see that the country that has the most languages is Papua New Guinea, okay, right? Indonesia is also the second country that has the most languages, used in that country. Nigeria, India, the United States, which is surprising as well. Australia, China, Mexico, Cameroon, and Brazil. Okay, these are only the top 10. But if you look at the statistics, the map, disseminated in this website, you will see that the world is actually multilingual. Languages are used, around the world. Now, people, we can see based on this graph that language users, right? They know more than one language. There might be some people in Indonesia, for example, who use more than 4 or 3 languages, 3 or 4 or 5, even 6 languages in their daily life, okay? And let's take this forum as an example. Now, we all from different countries, right? We have our own first background. And now English is used as a mean for communication. Now, English is used as a lingua franca, during this conference. Now, if you look at into the this European and their languages report, published by European Commission, you will see that majority of European citizens are multilinguals. Even in ASEAN country as well, you can see that diversity of language exists around the world. Now, when there are people who are from different socio-linguistic backgrounds, right? Now, we need a lingua franca. We need a language, used to communicate. Now, let's say if I'm Thai, right, and my first language is my second language is Thai, and another second language is English, and now I ran into someone foreign. I need a lingua franca to communicate, okay, and mostly it is English, that is used as a lingua franca. It is used as a mean for communication between socio-linguistically and linguistically, culturally diverse background. Now, we will see that the importance of English gains more and more important nowadays. These are the statistics from Ethnologue website as well. You can see that these are the languages and the number of people, use or spoken that language around the world. So you can see that English is the most widely spoken around the world, followed by Chinese, Hindi, Spanish, French, Arabic, Russian, and Portuguese, Bengali, and also Indonesian as well, okay? And out of English users, okay, there are, 743 million non-native, speakers, and there are 378 million native speakers as well, okay? And the statistic is surprising, okay? If we use English as a lingua franca, there is only 4% chance that communication will take place with with native speakers. So which means that 96%, communication, okay, will involve non-native speakers. Can you see that the multilingualism, English become part of people multilingualisms? And these are languages used in the internet, right? You can see that in the internet world as well, since this forum is about multiverse in education, okay, you see that language used in the internet is mainly about English. And the number of people learning English in China is nearly equals the US population now. Okay, these statistics show us that not only the world is becoming multilingual, but also English has gained more importance nowadays. Now, if you look into a British Council report on English as a medium of instruction, you will see that many universities around the world and also schools around the world now increase English program or English medium instruction programs in their school or in their institution in order to master or to help their student become multilingual. So English become their linguistic repertoire. So these are the data that they collected, right? You can see at these countries, the role of English, are becoming more and more important, especially in education as well. Now, we know that, multilingualism is a linguistic and social and global phenomenon, right? And why is it important then? So this is a social reality, right? And, this is something that outside of the classroom, student will experience multilingualism, okay? Unfortunately, our learners, okay, sorry. Unfortunately, the classroom, in the classroom itself, and also the reality, doesn't match, okay? The reality, social reality outside of the classroom, there are multilingualism, and people tend to, acknowledge that it exists. But in the classroom, we actually promote, standard language ideology. Now, let's take my case, for example. When I was in the primary school, right, I was not allowed to use my first language in the classroom because it was perceived as inferior than the Thai standard. So this is standard language ideology that actually exists in the classrooms. And also there are monolingual bias by dominant culture. Okay, so what happened in real life and what we are doing in the classroom doesn't correspond to each other. Therefore, we are producing and reproducing our students to be kind of to have monolingual bias, we are either consciously or unconsciously. Okay, so This is important as well because the UNESCO also put multilingualism and linguistic diversity as one of their agendas, as they actually issues the promotion and use of multilingual and access in cyberspace as well. So UNESCO also take this one as the first step to do that. Now, who are our learners stepping into the classrooms? Our learners are socio-culturally and linguistically diverse, right? Reflecting unique identity, both cultural identity and also language identity as well. Now, for example, in the classroom in Thailand, now you will see a lot of immigrants, right, coming to Thailand. And then they immigrated to Thailand to work, for example. And then these students will go into Thai classrooms. And they also bring with them their linguistic repertoires with them into the classroom. And these affect the quality of learning and teaching as well. Not only in Thailand, in the United States, there are refugees, okay, who immigrate to the United States. There are immigrants. There are, English users, like there are learners who were born in the United States, but in the immigrant family. So they used their family language at home, and they bring this with them into the classrooms. Now, this seems to be a typical situation, around the world, not only in Thailand or in the United States. But have we ever thought about how do these diverse backgrounds affect student learning in general? So it's not only about when they learn a new language or when they learn a foreign language, it actually affects learning in all domains, cognitively, okay, cognitive domain, psychological domain, or even affective domain. For example, in the United States context, now if imagine yourself, you immigrated to the United States, and then you enter the classroom and you know zero English, right? And being in a classroom where you don't know anything in there, you sat there silently, how would you feel, right? How would you feel being in that classroom where you cannot communicate what you want, you don't understand what's going on, in the classrooms, and how would you feel? The affective domain will affect yourself as well, and also the cognitive domain, even the psychological domain will affect as well. Another example would be if in the students, right, they don't have classroom culture. For example, they immigrated from somewhere that they don't have classroom culture. Now, but if they are placed in, a classroom culture where the teacher have to speak, right, and then they have to listen, sit silently, take notes. And these classroom culture can be foreign to many learners who are from socio-cultural backgrounds. That can affect the quality of learning and teaching as well. So my point here is that socio-cultural backgrounds affect learning in all subjects and also in all domains of learners' development. Okay. Now, as a teacher educator who are preparing future teachers, what can we do about it? Okay. How can we turn the classroom how can we raise learner awareness that the classrooms are actually a safe space for them to develop awareness, right? To become respect or empathetic with other users of the language, right? Unfortunately, okay, linguistic racism occur, when we have monolingual bias or standard language ideologies. What is linguistic racism? Okay, Dovshin is the first scholar who actually defined linguistic racism as follows. So she said that linguistic racism refers to violations of one's fundamental human rights, okay, based on how one speaks certain languages and how one's entitlements are denied or discriminated against in both institutional and non-institutional setting due to how one speak English or other additional language. Let me, in my case, for example, growing up, I was not allowed to use Isan in the classroom. So there is one of, an experience that I encountered when I was a student in, primary school level. So this is one example. Now, linguistic racism doesn't mean only English per se, but also any additional language that the learners possess or the learner use in their daily life. Okay, so linguistic racism can occur in terms of ethnic accent bullying, okay? For example, someone may mock you the way you use English or the way you use certain language, someone mock an accent or your accent, or even exclude from mainstream group of peers. So these are a form of bullying that can occur in daily life. And also linguistic stereotyping. These are developed and preconceived, judged, by language use of a particular nationalities. Okay. For example, when you encounter with someone and that person, prejudged your accent, okay, your ideas, okay, or language use, that actually the linguistic stereotyping that people encounter. Now, you might ask, what damage does it do when people just mock an accent, right? When people mock the language that they use, when you were not allowed to use certain languages, in your daily life, what actually happened? Well, that can create psychological damages to individuals, okay? So research has shown that English users in Australian context, for example, actually develop, social withdrawal, and also they develop sense of non-belonging, low self-esteem, fear, or even anxiety, okay, or even anxiety when they were discriminated, or when they experienced linguistic racism. And Dovshin actually gave one example of a Chinese student, living in Australia. He was kind of discriminated against the way he used English. He started to develop self-esteem, so not being able to talk, to use, to communicate, and depression occur until it leads to he committing, suicide. Okay. Can you see that, if you mock someone the way they used, or if they use language or linguistic racism, that can actually create a negative impact to students as well. Now, what can we do as a teacher educator, as a teacher education, okay? I would like to propose, a proposal for change by transforming teacher education agenda. Okay, multilingualism, linguistic racism in the classrooms, these can be solved, from a teacher education perspective. If we prepare teachers, every kind of teacher who are aware of this multilingualism and how multilingualism affects, language learning and teaching, or even learning and teaching in general, then we can create the classroom that is saved, that people appreciate, diversity or linguistic diversities. What can we do by promoting or transforming teacher education agenda? Now, I use the word transforming because sometimes in some teacher education, multilingualism was not, included in teacher education courses at all. In some teacher education started to incorporate courses such as multilingualism, linguistic, these world English courses into the classroom, but it's not actually active much. It's not the first stage it's not the front stage of their teacher education agenda. That's why I would like to call for, an invitation from you all to, incorporate or to transform, think whether how can you as a teacher educator can promote, teacher education that is inclusive of linguistic diversity and multilingualism. What you can do, can range from the institutional level and also from the individual level perspective as well. So from the institutional level at your college or at your faculty, right, you can design, programmatic level or macro level implementation, or you can do meso level in which, incorporating some courses, or you can do micro level, in terms of units, modules, discussions, or activities with your student. Even though you don't teach, language per se, but as teacher educator, okay, so you should be aware of that. Or in the individual domain, right? So you can offer teacher professional development, especially in service teacher professional development as well. I'm going to give some examples, the project that I did. You don't need to use the framework that I use, but multilingualism is something that is, broad, and you can also attack the linguistic racism with you as well. So at the institutional domain, my program is called Teaching English as a Global Language, right? Or we offer Master of Education in Teaching English as a Global Language. Now, we prepare English teachers to implement an ELT paradigm, right? Or called Global Englishes. Now, Global Englishes is an ELT paradigm that acknowledge multilingualism. And also, we also try to develop student awareness of multilingualism around the world, okay? Our aims is to equip teachers with a critical lens, okay, to examine their current practices. So when we train, master degree students, we equip them with critical lens. We want them to examine what they do now critically, okay? We challenge them to think critically about what they do, whether it reflects reality of the classroom or not. And we also challenge the history in person background, what they bring with them into our program. Did they bring with them standard language ideology? Or did they bring with them monolingual bias, into the program? So we challenge them to challenge themselves as well and raise their awareness, what they bring into the program. And also to support them, we also to support them to bring change, to become an agent of change, who transform their instruction to cope with this constant change in language teaching or English language teaching. So you can see that this is one program, master level education program, that we developed in order to advocate for multilingualism and linguistic racism. And in the program, there are courses, right? There are courses that we offer. For example, English language studies in a global context. We also offer seminar in multilingualism. And we also offer language teaching methodology that is implement this paradigm into the field. And doing that, okay, at the program level, we are not doing that alone. So we create a sense of community. Now, if we want to transform something, okay, you should not do it alone, right? You should do it as a community. Okay, this is why we want the student to appreciate that, starting from our programs. Other ideas that you can do is, okay, you can raise awareness of your pre-service teachers, right? How multilingualism actually affects learning and teaching. And you can incorporate some courses. It can be required or it can be, elective related to multilingualism in teacher education. And finally, I would like to address that. I want you to really inculcate, right, values of respect and empathy in teacher education. But how? This is an agenda that all of teacher educators need to really talk together, plan together, and address the needs to prepare students to understand multilingualism. For the individual domain, this is something that I have passion about. As I mentioned at the beginning of my talk, offering teacher professional development is something that wake me up every day and go to work. Okay, so it's like, okay, now I have to start, wake up in the morning and do something good, promoting this diversity. Okay, over 6 years, I have provided teacher professional development to implement global English language teaching. Now, global English language teaching is a paradigm of language teaching that actually situates in multilingual turn of second language acquisition. So what does it mean by global English language teaching? Now, global English is a paradigm. A paradigm means a shared belief by a group of people. Now, these people believe that English is adaptable, right? Fluid and ever-changing. So English is not pure English anymore. It mixed with context, right? Backgrounds, or even identity. Now, global English also highlights that English has multiple norms. It's not only the norm of native speakers, but the norm of language use. The norm is not prescribed, but the norm is actually occur in the moment where people use English together. Okay, and global English focuses on the global ownership of English, which is independent of native English norms. Based on these ideas, it have clear implications on how we can prepare our teachers to understand this. So I use this kind of core idea to design professional development for teachers. And my theoretical perspective is about transformative learning theory by Peter Jarvis. I use it in my research a lot. Peter Jarvis is an adult learning theory where he explained that adults, often takes the life world for granted. So all adult learners, are often take the life world for granted. We forget what to learn something new because we have accumulated experience and everything for us become normal, right? For example, if you were trained and if you were prepared to value standard language ideology, you think that is normal for you, right? So everyone think that's normal. Now, in order to help them to learn something new, which is global English, right? I myself need to develop something that has sensation or disjuncture in box 2. I need to shock these teachers with new experience. So either I can show them statistics or I can show them research findings in the field, or I can show them practical examples of theory, okay? So I shock them with disjunctures, a sense of unknown, a sense of something that I don't know. And that prompt them to give meaning, okay? So now if adult learners presented with something that they don't know, they normally stop and give meaning. Wait a minute, what do I do now? If I don't know this, what do I do now? And then they started to practice solution again. And also adult learners will start, take the life for granted again. This theory, okay, after explain that in order to help learners or adult learners learn something new, we need to shock them with new experience, ask them to reflect, and ask them to practice solution. Okay, this is guide my professional development. And I also developed the five proposal for implementing, global English language teaching, which are revisit the ownership of English, right? Raise awareness about the target interlocutors, challenge native English speaker norms, introduce a variety of Englishes, and treat diverse Englishes with respect. I'm not going into details about these 5 proposals, but I use it to guide how I design the activities to help teacher understand global English language teaching. And I published this in ASEAN English Journal. So after this journal, after designing some activities, and the activity actually found very useful to help teachers understand, global English language teaching. After this, I also developed a new, professional development, and I conducted a pre and post design kind of quasi experiment research, where I asked for teachers, English teachers in Thailand who volunteer, okay, to learn about global English language teaching. And I actually do pre and post test design. And my research actually found that after teachers, okay, attend my professional development, their knowledge about global English is increased, okay. Their attitudes, okay, changes, but a little, okay. And also their perceived skills to implement global English also did not change. But okay, this professional development is only 16 hours. So I don't expect the change much, but at least they know about, global Englishes. They know about multilingualism. So I'm happy with that, okay? After this, I partner with a kind of an organization called PPT, okay? This is a kind of petroleum organization that in Thailand, and this company, right, sponsor many schools in Thailand. So I partner with them and develop a longitudinal study where I involved, teachers from those sponsor, okay, in a series of professional development. I have just finished year 2, which is peripheral, right? So year 1, I call this apprentice year, where teachers are introduced to the concepts of global Englishes. And year 2, they engage in a more lesson design, assessment, curriculum design, course design. And we are going to do year 3, which is an insider perspective. So these teachers will, work with me in 2 years already, and they will continue being with me for the 3rd year. And these are the topics that we did for year 1. So you can see that global English language teaching, what, why, and how. And for primary school student, for secondary school student, and I also asked them to design global English activities. They have a chance to present, learn from each other, and they actually implement an activities and then come back and reflect whether the theory, works or not. Okay. And this is year 2, it's, I talk more a little bit about ownership of English, world Englishes from different outer circle countries. I also talk about course design, learning activities, assessment, and evaluation. And I actually went to observe them this time. So the past 2 professional development projects, I didn't take the time to step into the profession because of the COVID-19 pandemic as well, and also the limitation of research that I didn't have a time to observe them. Now, when I went to observe them, I actually learned a lot, whether after I promote, right, global Englishes, do teachers actually, implement it in the classroom? Obviously, they implement it in some degrees, and also they reported, firsthand experience that which aspect of the theory works, which aspect doesn't work, and they becoming more literate, and that student actually benefits, enjoy the class more, and so on. Okay. What do I do next? After I, provide a series of these professional development, I actually did a very, simple kind of survey, right? That, have you heard the term global Englishes before attending the workshop? Okay. You can see that 79%, almost 80% say that they haven't heard about it. And 20% actually have heard the term global Englishes. Maybe they were my student, okay, in the class, in the master education class. I don't know for sure. But I'm glad that 20% of the teachers in Thailand now started to learn about, global Englishes, which is very promising and rewarding for me, as a teacher educator. And after the workshop, I asked them, right? I asked them to reflect whether they will start implementing global Englishes in English class. You can see that the green one, right, 42 and also 56 one, the kind of orange one, say that they will start implementing it. Okay, but with some say that probably not. Okay, but at least you can see that 90% will start implementing it. Even they attend, some professional development. It's kind of help them becoming more multilinguals. And the last aspect that I asked them is that global Englishes, I asked them whether they think global Englishes is abstract, rather than practical. You can see that these are very diverse opinion. So the green one, right? 16.9% say that global Englishes is very abstract. 50% say that it's still abstract, okay? But the red one, okay, the red one, 28% say that it's not abstract. And the blue one also strongly disagree that it's not abstract. It is actually practical. Now, these statistics, right, give me some kind of hopes that, okay, now, I help them understand the concepts. Now, maybe in the next steps, I need to make it more practical so that they actually implement it in the classrooms. So, but it gives me also hope as well that many of them, almost maybe 30%, say that, okay, it's not abstract and they are willing to implement it in the classrooms. Okay. Based on my series of professional development that I show with you, I would like to stop here by, inviting, all of you to join the proposal for change. We know that multilingualism, is a social reality, linguistic reality, and also global, linguistic social reality. In the classroom, then we need to really, support, okay? You don't need to use global English just as a framework to help students or to help teachers understand multilingualism. You can use other framework. For example, you can use World English as framework. You can use English as an international framework, language framework. You can use multilingualism, as a framework as well, or translanguaging, code switching. Those are available, framework that you can use yourself. And I would like to invite you, right, to join me in the proposal for change. So you can start at the institutional level if you are responsible if you have the power, right, to bring change yourself. You can ask your colleagues to develop program that actually promote multilingualism. You can actually develop a course, right, that at your university or at your faculty. You yourself in your classrooms, you can develop a unit, modules, or having in-depth discussion with your students about multilingualism, linguistic racism, and also even create classroom culture that respects linguistic diversity. Or you can develop activity as well. And you can even join me to collaborate with me when you do research, okay? In offering teacher professional development. I'm, open for collaborating and, offering teacher professional development at the individual domain as well. These proposal will be kind of brought forward for teacher education agenda. And I actually, want everyone to join me in addressing multilingualism and linguistic racism in the classrooms. Okay, I think that's for today, and now I would like to stop my talk and maybe answer some of the questions in the chat box. Are there any questions, comments from you all?
Guys have any questions? probably they don't. If you wish to ask question, you can just switch on your microphone and ask. So
I think if they have more questions or any questions, they will be directly to the doctor by themselves. I think that's right. Okay, because Professor showed emails already. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So well, since there's no question, I would like to thank Dr. Denchai for sharing your knowledge and your expertise to us today. Thank you so much for being here with us. Now, so we have, let's say that almost 30 minutes
Right.
to start for the wrap-up session. So meanwhile, we can take a break and you guys can get yourself ready and get yourself prepared for the information that you would like to share in the wrap-up session with the moderator. And we'll come back again at 2:15. And before we go, please be reminded that the assessment will be the assessment form. The QR code is available. Will be available at 3 p.m. The one on my hand is for the morning session, and you guys are. We will show you again the link, the QR code for the afternoon part at 3 p.m. And do not forget, after you complete the forms, the certificate will be sent to you directly to your email, so you could download it for both morning and afternoon parts.
Right. Or if you cannot open or you don't have their certificate, you can contact us by the chat. All right. Our staff will be representable as soon as possible.
All right. Okay. So yeah, let's take a break and come back again. We'll see you guys again at 2:15. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Mariano Marcos State University, the leading institution of higher learning in Northern Philippines. A rising global institution with innovative actions in building a resilient and proactive smart university, MMSU has defined itself through quality and excellence and opens up to the world through expanding educational opportunities for students and all stakeholders. A QS Stars rated university, it is also recognized as Level 4 University in 5-level classification system of Philippine HEIs. MMSU offers a wide range of duly accredited programs in health sciences and medicine, industrial technology, engineering, business, trade and industry, humanities, social sciences, and liberal arts, and is recognized by the Philippine Commission on Higher Education as Center of Excellence in Teacher Education and Center of Development in Agriculture, Forestry, Information Technology, and Biology. It is also a national university for agriculture and fisheries. At MMSU, learning is enabled by quality curriculum content, competent faculty, and complemented by advanced technology to enable borderless learning in a vibrant environment conducive to learning and self-discovery. Our faculty and facilities are capable of delivering flexible learning, be it on campus or in cyberspace. We contribute to global knowledge exchange through faculty and student mobility programs, research, and academic collaborations, hosting international experts such as foreign faculty and DOST Balik scientists, while sending our own faculty as scholars, fellows, and lecturers in short and long-term international engagements. We have institutionalized credit transfer program that enables students to earn credit units at MMSU or our partner universities while also engaging in non-credit exchange programs. As we build our niche in bio and renewable energy, climate-resilient agriculture and natural resources management, garlic and other value-added commodities, health and pharmaceutical research, we co-create knowledge through collaborative research and instruction activities with top universities and agencies in Southeast Asia, Japan, China, the United States, Canada, and United Kingdom. Through our strong partnerships and linkages, we continue to generate resources that enable us to engage in research to address emerging global needs. From these engagements, we transform the lives of our stakeholders by deploying adaptable and adoptable research-generated technologies to communities, equipping and empowering them to become valuable assets in their localities and eventually contributing to sustainable global development. Our community continues to expand as our alumni establish themselves in various parts of the world and as we grow partnerships with international agencies to build a diverse and multicultural environment at MMSU's campuses, physically or virtually. At the same time, we continuously develop our facilities to suit the needs of our growing and increasingly diverse population. Building on academic supremacy, growing with innovativeness, adaptiveness, and relevance, evolving into a borderless global university. This is Mariano Marcos State University, an emerging premier Philippine university where excellence is a way of life.
Good afternoon again. Hi, welcome back. And before we start, we have 6 minutes left. So I would like to check if our moderators are ready. So I guess the host, the Sinakarin Road University, we're ready, right? And I would like to sound check again for Mariano Marcos State University. Are you here?
Yes, I am here. Thank you.
Thank you. And what about Shizuoka University, Japan? Are you here?
Yes. Yes.
Great, thank you. And what about Burapha University? Are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Great, great. So we all are here, right? So shall we start the wrap-up session?
Yes.
All right, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you all to meet our moderator from Sinakarin Road University. She's one of the team for this wrap-up session. I would like to present you Assistant Professor Dr. Kanitha Salimat from the Graduate School, Sinakarin Road University. Please.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back again to our last session. It gives me a great pleasure to be your moderator for the wrap-up session. As all four moderators are already here, let us start to listen to each of them by now. Each moderator has 10 to 15 minutes to present the key important points that raised up from your sessions. Would you like to start with session 1, Transformative Education by UGM, Dr. Nanung Agus Fitriyato? Yes.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I apologize that Professor Nares could not deliver the wrap session, so I will replace her. And I try to deliver some points from our discussion in the breakout room 1. Well, at the theme of transformative education, we have 5 brilliant speakers, and it was fruitful discussion during the sessions. At the first speakers, we have Dr. Parachatun and also Mr. Nati. And then from the Burapha University, of course, they deliver the skill of learning of the 21st century. And then the second one is Dr. Saturnina from Mariano Marcos State University, which delivered the digital transformation in education, study case in MMMSU. And then continued by the third speaker, it was Dr. Hiroshi Yoshida from Shizuoka University, entitled Transformation Education Skills for Learning in the 21st Century. And the fourth was Professor Siti Rohmat Projosasmito, who described about the learning to engage in community through the community-based interpersonal education study case at UGM. And the last but not the least, the Professor Dr. Futipon from Sinakarin University. Well, briefly, I can say that now the world has, entered the digital area, and there was really significant changes for uses the technology and also our society itself. The innovation has occurred and education should be transformed. That's the point from several speakers. And by using the technology, we need to support the transfer knowledge from the teacher to the students and to increase the efficiency in learning process. That's also the important thing. On also the understanding and ability of knowing something from the students is very, very important, and you have to prioritize it. Some concern, including the integrating from various aspects, is, for example, the standard of teaching and learning, assessment, evaluation, course management, the atmosphere of the education, the quality of the instructor. It's become the concern of the discussion, and it also have to support the education to support that things. And several skills from the students, which is important to increase this kind of the literacy, critical thinking, the creativity, collaboration, and also ability in using the information and technology as life skills. We also address some point that the combination between the digital function and conventional face-to-face education method is a good, selected as a good method to deliver knowledge, because we have to still understand about the empathy. We have to also address the toughness, and the personal interaction between the teachers and also the student is become important, especially for the basic and secondary student education. And this is a good point also, some dialogues between students and their surrounding. And not only so the communication between the students, not only into the teacher, but also the surrounding. It will bring them, the students, for learning something from their community. The implementation at the basic and secondary education is very good. And of course, it's also some challenging method in implementing this kind of method. And we have to also apply it in the higher education institution also. And the last one is, as we know that the terminology of the environment, economic, and also the social sector, it should become, the address of our students, since to achieve the sustainable development goals through the education for sustainable development, we always concerned about things to sustain our life in this beautiful world. I think that's all, and thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Nanung. Still, we have some time. So I would like to give the space for anyone who would like to add on the points that has been mentioned by Dr. Nanung. Any ideas or share experience or comments? Please feel free to join with us now. But I think it's very important point that you raised, the thing that we should balance between the digital style of learning and face-to-face, because we still need both of them, right? Even though we are on a changing world, but still face-to-face is still important.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So especially at the basic education, the golden age of the students below the 10 years old is very, very neat, the personal touchness. I think that it will almost impossible to just let our children to take their gadget, to use their own computer to learning something without any connection with the other people surrounding them, even for their parents in the house, even with your friends. I think it's really, really crucial. We need that our children have kind of the community and also society communication in that moment. Yeah?
Yes, importantly with the children in early childhood, they
Absolutely,
cannot like
yes.
all the time on the computer, on the screen. So this is very important and also challenges for all of us to think about what should be the balance between the digital learning kind of thing and face-to-face. Any add-ons or sharing ideas from others? Please. So if there's nothing, no one, I will thank you, Dr. Nanu, again for giving such an informative presentation. Let's start to our session 2, post-COVID, from the moderator, Professor Dr. Lucia Yamamoto from Shizuoka University. Please.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lucia Yamamoto from Shizuoka University, and I was the moderator of post-COVID session. In the section 5, in the session 5, the academics, they share their knowledge acquired during and after the COVID from their trust-based relationship and collaborative activity with their partners, like the elementary schools, universities, and local communities. They have collected and analyzed valuable data that help us to assess the impact of the COVID in the field of education. To summarize our contents, are categorized then by groups they focus, like school tutors of the elementary school students, university students, members of our local communities, and then explain briefly about their issues. Firstly, Dr. Zuliyati Romaha and her colleagues from Gajah Mada University, they paid attention to the measures taken by the elementary school at the Gandin Harjo village. At the beginning of the COVID, the school was delivering classes without any ICT tools, and the school teachers was given assignment from textbooks, work and worksheets, and the students read and studied independently. In 2020, they introduced ICT tools and started to conduct online classes. The new method and tools improved the students' learning, but also brought some problems. Students who got used to the online classes now feel bored during in-person classes, and their learning concentration has decreased. Dr. Lawrence Fountain from Siddhi University, Professor Louis Aquino from Mariano Marcos State University, and Dr. Parachanan and Dr. Jindapa from Burapas University, they focus on university education issues. Dr. Lawrence introduced a new concept about education that he called educationeering, and gave us a new perspective in understand how to reshape education after the pandemic. Dr. Parachanan and Dr. Jindapa, they emphasize the importance of the soft skill in the learning process at the university. The soft skills is important in creating a collaborative teamwork to work in group assignments, connecting and building relationships. Soft skills helps university students to explore challenges and opportunities they encounter. Professor Masaki Nagata from Shizuoka University talked about the participatory online education involving the local community, school, and university. Basically, using the ICT tools, the community's members, they create their own content and messages, like education content, events, information, and so on, and deliver it to the communities through the website. These activities have promoted learning among all participants. From those all presentations, I would like to highlight three issues. First, there is no doubt that the pandemic accelerated the digital transformation and brought new technology to the field of education. But at the same time, there is no doubt that the digital transformation created disparity among students who have access to the new technology and who haven't. So I would share my question. Are we experiencing a new type of social stratification? If yes, how can the education remediate these disparities? Second, as Dr. Parachanan and Dr. Jindapa said, the soft skill is an important skill in creating new relationships and networks. So can the new education platform using digital technologies develop these skills? Maybe Professor Nagata's citizen activity could be an answer. And the third, in the new normal lifestyle, what we want to keep it and what we want to change in order to improve a better life for us and for the next generation. For better or worse, the pandemic gave us a chance to rethink of it. I think my panel presentation leaving these three issues to the presenters and to the audience. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Lucia. That seemed like a very fruitful discussion happening, going on in your session regarding the education and the use of the new technology in the education, especially
Yes.
after COVID-19. Many people are struggling with the new way of teaching and learning. I hope
Yes.
people get a chance to learn about new things from one another. But after
Yes.
all, we are in the same boat after COVID-19 and hope
Yes.
we still survive that
Yeah.
so
Yes. True.
far. Okay. Any other wants to share any ideas on this topic post COVID-19? You can free to join us. Still have time. Okay. If there no one, thank you again, Dr.
Thank
Lucia.
you. Thank
I
you.
would like to go for session 3, gender equality, from BUU, Miss Waranya Pridatawat.
Yes. Good afternoon. I'm Varanya Pridatawat. Thank you to give me an opportunity to be a moderator in session 3, the panel sessions about gender equality. Gender equality is an agenda that is currently in spotlight. So for today in session 3, there are 5 interesting titles that are related to gender equality. The representative from 4 universities from Japan, Philippines, Indonesia, and Thailand. For my first speaker is Professor Keiko Ikeda from Shizuoka University, Japan. The origin of the study begins with the Great East Japan disaster of 2011. New policies were introduced to develop female relationship in preparation for the next disaster. However, this paper found that both women and communities are slowly but surely changing. This change adds new strengths for communities which are suffering from the aging of the actors and distant attitudes among younger generations through increasing actors with diversified ideas and network. Due to learning to survive disasters, the role of Japanese women has changed from the past. As a result, women raise up to become more social leaders. And for the second title is from Burapha University, Dr. Nathama Namfa. Dr. Nathama indicated that a gender equality paradox, the phenomenon that the nation with a high level of gender equality demonstrate occupationally gender segregation. She explored the gender stereotype and future career aspirations of sports science students from one university in Thailand. The results found that they are conscious the gender stereotype and introspectively agree that the sport industries ought to support gender equality. They agree that both genders can maintain some core gender stereotypes. Clearly, the reproductions of gender stereotype exists and becomes a visual role in their future career and visions. Without attention to this internalized factor, the gender equality paradox will be undoubtedly contributed. So female tend to be perceived as more feminine, while male as more masculine. And the third presenter is very interesting too. Dr. Rattasapha Jurimat from Sinakarin Virod University, Thailand. Sinakarin Virod University has the policies to promote and support creation of human acceptance values toward gender diversity in various activities, both directly and indirectly. In addition, to achieve concrete work in supporting gender diversity, university has amended the dress code rules for students so students can dress according to their gender, sexual orientation or gender identity correctly according to the uniform of university. Additionally, the university has confirmed that taking care of students with gender diversity will be treated equitably, acceptingly, and fairly. And the next presentation in this session is Miss Natalisa Lapitan from Mariano Macas State University, Philippines. Her title is Mainstreaming Gender Equality to MMSU's Achieve Agenda and Institutional Commitment. She requires to promoting gender sensitivity and inclusivity entails the recognitions of individual differences and establishing a mechanism that would promote harmonious relationships geared towards employee productivities, academic freedom, and social responsibility. For her university, it is critical to ensure to recognize the different interests and needs of all these men and women. The university aims to provide equal treatment for everyone and reduce the cause of inequalities. For the last presentation in this session, Dr. Surani Hasanati from Universitas Gadjah Mada, Indonesia. The title is Gender and Environmental Management, a Good Practice for Gender and ESD Mainstreaming in Indonesia. She studied about a good practice for gender and environment management in Indonesia under the Indonesian River Restoration Movement's project. Then the various programs related to women empowerment and child environment literacy education as a part of gender and ESD mainstreaming in Indonesia. That's all for session 3. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Waranya, for giving such an informative and comprehensive presentation. About gender equality is among the most important goals for sustainable development. Gender equality does not include only men and women, but also a spectrum of genders as well. I hope that we will continue to support them and support the idea of gender equality and hope to reduce stereotypes, stigma, and all form of violence based on the gender. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I think we going to our last session, affordable green society, which is the section that was very popular during the morning session. I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Janet Dowse from MMSU.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Professor Jeanette G. Dials, the moderator for session 4 with the theme Affordable and Green Society. The Green Society's conceptual framework is a sustainable solution under 4 conditions: the implementation of environmental empowerment, global environmental rules, fielding of strategies of territorial systems, and giving voice to particular environmental stakeholders through organizations that operate in the environmental field. Allow me, therefore, to share what transpired in our session from our 5 brilliant speakers. The first presenter examined the situation and challenges faced by those attempting to inherit farmland based on the results of a survey of urban farmers and urban farmland in Tokyo. Assistant Professor Dr. Miki Mochizuki mentioned that the concentration of population in metropolitan areas such as Tokyo has led to the development of a residential land for farmland located in urban suburbs, but such residential land development have resulted in a mosaic of farmland remaining, and agriculture has been or has continued to be carried out while mixed with residential areas. Urban agriculture was introduced in Japan with its multifaceted function such as reevaluating the value of local production for local consumption, preserving the natural environment, and of course, providing educational opportunities for children to preserve urban farmland. And our speaker also mentioned that laws were being developed to promote new farming. But like rural areas, Japan's urban agriculture is also facing the same aging population, and there was a lack of successors, and the succession of farmland to future generations was in jeopardy. So, in response to the situation, several strategies were initiated by farmers who have inherited farmland, and new farmers have to manage the farms in new ways. And citizens work together with farmers to conserve urban farmland and promote urban agriculture. Dr. Miki also discussed the issues related to farm management and farmland succession in urban areas in Japan. Now, in the next presentation, Dr. Bobby Eclarin presented strategies for low emissions development, which is the utilization of renewable energy to address the challenges of climate change, energy security, and access to energy. He shared that MMSU proactively involved itself in the utilization and promotion of clean, renewable energy by partnering with state universities and colleges, government agencies, and the private sector to further strengthen the initiative. The university also provided programs for the local community to learn about the importance of energy efficiency and clean energy through training and seminars. Another was a published policy in the guidelines of energy, power generation and utilization, and of course, energy efficiency and conservation practices. So to further propel this, particular advocacy, the university is aiming to become a net zero energy campus and a model for NZE campus by establishing the net zero energy buildings that produced uh, enough renewable energy to meet its own energy consumption requirements, hence reducing, of course, the use of non-renewable energy in an establishment. So with the university's National Bio Research and Innovation Center, the development and optimal use of bioenergy is ensured. This activity or this advocacy is actually a joint effort of all the stakeholders of the university. Now, in the third presentation, Madam Lisna Hidayati claimed that improving the quality of human resources is closely related to the quality of education. She acknowledged that green community is a vital sign of an educated community. So her community used environment and science literacy approach to promote green community. So they had a project based learning on environment and science was utilized as a vehicle to deliver the curriculum of green community. They also have collaborated with formal and non-formal schools in this activity, such as the community learning activity centers, and they were very much adapted to children education. Actually, they used a lot of games to heighten children's engagements by introducing to them hydroponic planting technique, garbage composting and sorting, fermentation, and simulation of mount eruption mitigation and the like. So online learning though was provided for anybody's access, especially to those who could not present or who could not be there in the face-to-face setup. Now, in the fourth presentation, Dr. Sri Takul also concurred that the young generation should be more encouraged to protect the world and think economically for utilizing resources. So Burapa University had designed sustainable development lessons to raise global awareness issues. So anchored on the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, global issues were prioritized and they involved the representatives from social, culture, economic, and environmental health sectors to conceptualize the lessons. And the teaching of innovation, of sustainable development lessons were designed to actually demonstrate the use of task-based learning, project-based learning, social network-based learning, and active learning strategies. And of course, they created the teaching model PHRA-INS, which covered the 5 teaching steps, including interacting and informing, innovating, that targeted freshman students through didactic and interactive lectures, group work, simulations, and of course, action planning. The evaluation of teaching also included pre and post knowledge assessments, daily reflections, and a post teaching evaluation survey. So, this model was devised, of course, to promote creative thinking and problem solving skills. And the study presented revealed that there was a strong increase in the knowledge and motivation to implement SDGs, highlighting, of course, the usefulness of the model. And lastly, Dr. Prapaporn shared that across the city of Bangkok, both public and private sectors were increasingly understanding the environmental, social, and economic benefits of environmentally sustainable development, most especially the educational organizations. So, to adhere to the mandate of SWU or SWU, the Faculty of Social Sciences complied with the university's goal to sustainable green office. So their tagline were go smart, go green, and go together. So she's centered on the green faculty, okay, and they integrated in there a sustainable office policy and complying with the green office project held, of course, by the pollution control department. And as a result, that's good news. The faculty received the Green Office Bronze Award. Congratulations. So, the pathway to Green Office not only included here the setting of goals and strategies with the standard protocol, but also encouraging the faculty members to be aware and change their lifestyles to green. So, indeed, in parallel session 4, our presenters have provided a new way forward through the development of an inclusive green society and economy. First, education. That this is one of the best weapons to fight poverty and inequality, and of course, can foster attitudes and behaviors necessary for a new culture of sustainability. And of course, second, information, hashtag information. The green transition will rely on all stakeholders to enable governments to create policy for sustainable development and act on it. So we can raise public awareness of these issues and build solidarity, be it in the community, government, and most especially in the education institutions where we belong. So, JPTI6 Consortium, therefore, is an instrument. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Janet. That was a great summary of the breakout session. The Green Affordable Society have very interesting experience and ideas to share in your forum. This includes information about how community can be involved with green energy policy and farming. Education, like you say, is also another important tool for promoting sustainable ideas among students through project and task-based learning, as you say. On the other hand, green development is not only limited to the public sectors, but many private companies are involving with the green society ideas, sustainable development for their companies too. Okay, such a wonderful ending today. And As today, forum serve as a platform for all of us to share our best practice and what we're doing and the policy we have created, the research study we have conducted. This would give us the baseline information in the creation of the new plans, program, activities that are essential to the future and the World Sustainable Development Goal. I hope we can make it happen again next year. Okay, thank you very much, all the moderators, for your time today, that you will be here with us and bringing your expertise and experience and engaging in such a fruitful and constructive throughout the day. Thank you all again to the moderator from all 4 universities.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, moderators from Shizuoka University, Japan, from Burapha University, Thailand, from Mariano Marcos State University, Philippines, and from Universitas Gadjah Mada, Indonesia. And last, thank you, Dr. Kanita, for being our host for this session. Now, as the 10th year of the forum, I would like to honorably invite the representative from Shizuoka University, the founder of the consortium, to say something to us before we get separated. Please welcome.
Hello, it's my turn to talk. It's a little bit early, but I'm not so prepared, but I was so, honored to follow all the sessions from the session 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and I was so excited for today's meeting. First of all, let me introduce, I'm not here as a representative, just one of the steering member of this consortium. And unfortunately, this Thursday afternoon and 15 to 5 p.m. now in Japan, in Shizuoka, is a very busy meeting time zone. Unfortunately, so that's why for example, Dr. Shojiri, our trustee and vice president for education, who presented the greeting this morning, is now in the very important meeting. And unfortunately, the Professor Ikeda, vice president for student affairs, is also in the meeting. And also, one of our partners, Professor Dozono from Shizuoka, is also in a separate meeting, unfortunately, just 5 minutes ago. So I'll take this role to say some greetings and some thankful message to all the participants and also for the steering members. And first of all, today, as you see, there are so many presentations, lectures, under the 4 themes. Even in one theme, there are a variety of presentations, as you see. So I'm afraid some who are the first, for someone, today is the first time to participate in this ESD forum, they might be a little bit puzzled or feel uncomfortable because this is not a usual academic society of your specialty. But as you see at the end of this day, you feel something different but exciting, promoting some tips for your world, for your future. And as today, this morning, it is presented that this ESD is the 10th International ESD Forum, but just since last year, last December, the JPTI 6, which has the logo here, you see, JPTI 6 is launched last December in the 9th ESD. So this one is the second as a JPTI 6. So you see, we are now, the steering committees are now working which direction we will go under this consortium with the name of the ESD Forum. So for JPTI6 consortium, ESD Forum is a big core, but it is not all. We will create in several ideas to the different directions. We have the potentiality and probability, I believe. So for next year, for next forum, our steering committee will work on which direction to go, and probably, but not assured, but in the turn, the Shizuoka University will or probably take the host, not assured. It is not approved yet because Dr. Shojiri is not here, but we will work together with our partner universities of JPTI6 consortium to prepare for the next schedule, next agenda to do. And before closing, I'd like to thank, first of all, the host universities, Sinakari and Brapa universities at first, its faculty members, as well as all the members, all the staff and students who are taking part in to support this big event online, and also the speakers and moderators who did a very, very professional and admired working for moderators. Great praise for all. And also the steering committee members who participate in the preparations seriously since last consortium, especially from this last August. I remember I used the co-work station for my first time in my life to work during my holidays. Okay. And also thank you very much for all the participants from 6 or other universities who I hope enjoyed and who will participate to fix our direction of this consortium. Thank you very much for all. That's all for me. Thank you very much.
Hi, domo arigatou gozaimashita to Dr. Masuda Narigato. Thank you again. And we are looking forward to see you again next year, right, as well. And we hope that, right, see you at Shizuoka University, Japan, right? And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the last part of the forum. All right, yeah? Any questions?
Eugene. Yes.
You can.
Somebody raise hand.
Yep. So you can open your microphone and.
Universitas Gajah Mada.
No, thank you. It's just mistake of me to give applause, not the raise hand.
All right. Okay. I would like to.
Proceed,
yeah.
Right?
Yes. Correct. All right. And the next is. Like to meet this year host, Assistant Professor Dr. Wacharin Kasalak, the President of Burapha University, Thailand, once again to the closing speech. Please welcome.
On behalf of Burapha University, I would like to extend our gratitude to our partners for your fruitful contribution and your tirelessly making this conference happen. Finally, I would like to thank all participants for joining this conference. I hope you collect new ideas and a new horizon of the academic network. Once again, thank you very much and see you next year.
Thank you, Dr. Wacharin, for your astonishing speech. And before we leave, it's a tradition, of course, that we would like to make another group photo. And please, all of you who are still here with me, with us, please switch on your camera and put on your beautiful smiles. We will do the snapshot again in the afternoon to keep our memories. And so on the count of 3.
Yeah. And don't
Right.
forget to take off your mask, right? Because some person smile behind the mask.
Right.
Right? We cannot see your smile.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And for one more shot,
Maybe can we do like this?
the mini heart.
Yeah.
Nothing can see.
Or maybe
but we
like
can
that.
try. We can try. Yeah, just make it fun. Yeah, the mini heart like this. 1, 2, 3. All right. Good. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi.
And thank you. And I hope you guys have obtained further information from the consortium. And thank you, the hosts and the team, also the partner universities, for making this happen, and all participants for sharing the moment with us until end. See you again next year. Goodbye. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
Okay, I hate to leave you guys just like this, but I forgot to tell you that we also have the Google form for the assessment that you need to make and the survey, so you could get the certificate after attending this forum. And the form, the link, is in the chat box right on your hand on the screen, so you could please feel free to give us assessment, and then you'll get the certificate.
All right. If you don't have any certificate in your email, please contact us as soon as possible. Right? Okay. See you next year. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Follow my lead, come coming now, follow my lead.